Chapter 2. The Most Wonderful Horse in the World. When Emma biked home from school the next day, she laughed at how unbelievably negative and pessimistic she'd been. Everybody in class had been really nice to her. The only drawback was that there didn't seem to be any other horse girls at the little school. That was too bad, but at least Emma didn't have to be lonely and left out as she had feared. Emma was in a good mood when she got home, but her joy vanished like magic when she saw her mom standing on the front porch. Her mom was all dressed for travel, and next to her stood 2 bulging suitcases. Emma felt herself get icy cold inside. What was going on? Mom wasn't supposed to leave until next week. "Emma!" Lisa ran toward her. "I was so afraid the taxi would get here before you came home. At least I get to say goodbye. But where are you?" The rest of the words Emma meant to say were drowned in a crushing hug from her mom. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart, but there's been a change in plans. I have to leave immediately." Emma could feel her legs go numb. Suddenly it was becoming all too real, the moment she dreaded so much. She didn't know what to say or do. There was a crunching sound in the gravel as the taxi drove up in front of the house. Emma barely even noticed her dad walking by, dragging the large suitcases. The moment of parting was a muddle of hugs and tears, and before Emma quite realized what was happening, the taxi drove away in a cloud of dust down the unpaved country road. The last thing Emma saw of her mom was a hand waving through the back window. She threw her arms around her dad's neck, crying so hard her whole body shook. Never before had she felt so abandoned and alone. It didn't help at all that her father was stroking her head and mumbling comforting words to her, the way he used to when she was little. Emma wasn't 3 anymore. She was 13, and nothing her dad might say could help the way she felt. Her mom was gone, and Emma wouldn't see her again for several months. The whole world was pitch black. "If you're going to keep bawling like that, you'll dry up completely," said her dad in a futile attempt to make her laugh. "We're both going to miss Mom a lot, and we'll just have to make the best of it. Half a year goes by pretty fast, you know." "Huh," Emma tried to say it with contempt, but it turned into a hiccup instead. She sniffled and tried to stop the flow of tears. "Here." Her dad gave her a tissue. Emma wiped her eyes and blew her nose hard. "That a little better?" Her father looked at her. Emma shook her head. She didn't feel any better at all. "Maybe you'll cheer up a little if you take a walk behind the house," her dad suggested. Emma looked at him, puzzled, her eyes all swollen and red from crying. "What am I supposed to do behind the house?" Her nose was so plugged up she could barely speak. "I think there's somebody waiting for you over in the stable," answered her dad. "It's got 4 legs and a tail, and it stinks like a—" Emma gave a squeal of glee. "Troy!" In all the commotion of her mom's sudden departure, she'd totally forgotten that he was arriving today. She sprinted toward the stable. Right then, all thoughts of her mom were forgotten. She was so excited that her heart did a flip-flop. In a moment she would see Troy, feel the warmth of his wonderful body, and breathe the familiar, soothing smell of hay and horse. The small stable was only a few yards behind the house. The door to the stable was on the backside, with a fenced-off field, a nice pasture for Troy when he wasn't inside the stable. Emma ran around the stable building and rounded on the door. She was in such a hurry that she forgot to watch her footing. Ouch! One of her feet thumped against a moss-covered rock, making her fall forward. "Ugh! Darn it!" Emma sat up and rubbed her elbow. It throbbed with pain from the crash against another rock, also moss-covered and hard to see in the grass. Emma realized there were several such rocks right there. They appeared in 2 uneven rows out from the side of the stable. Must be the remains of some old foundation wall, it occurred to Emma. Apparently there must have been a house there a long time ago. Emma was about to get up when she suddenly felt very dizzy and hot, extremely hot. Drops of sweat appeared on her forehead, and she felt like she was in a sauna. Breathing made her lungs sting. What was going on here? Had she hurt herself worse than she'd realized? But in the next moment the air was fresh and cool again, as if nothing had happened. Emma shook her head in confusion and got up. How strange! And the feeling reminded her of something. The nightmare! In the dream she'd had last night, she'd been very hot too, and not able to breathe very well. Was there a connection? No, it must be a coincidence. But certainly strange, thought Emma, as she opened the stable door to go in and find what she hoped would be her dream horse. So, how's it going? Did the horse live up to your expectations? Her dad was standing in the farmyard when Emma came riding back toward the stable on Troy. Her cheeks were warm and her eyes beaming. He's the best in the world! Emma bent forward to pat Troy. He snorted quietly and shook his head a little. Then he stretched his head out to sniff at Emma's dad, who took a frightened step back. Wimp, laughed Emma. You don't need to be afraid of Troy, Dad. He's as gentle as a lamb. Yeah, except lambs are much smaller. I wouldn't mind petting a little lamb. Hesitantly, her dad stretched his hand out toward Troy. Emma saw that he kept his eyes tightly closed. He looked like he halfway expected Troy to suddenly turn into a bloodthirsty shark and bite his arm off. She squelched a little giggle. Dad, who was practically never afraid of anything, was standing here trembling, scared of a gentle and peaceful horse. People sure are weird. How anybody could be afraid of the world's most wonderful and beautiful animal was beyond her. Troy rubbed his silky soft muzzle against Frank's hand and gave a little snort. Then he lowered his head and started munching on the fresh green grass. See? That wasn't so dangerous, was it? Emma looked teasingly at her dad. Frank gave a relieved smile. Boy, I'm glad horses aren't carnivores, he said. It's unbelievable that a little girl like you can manage to control such a large beast. He's not a beast. Emma was offended on Troy's behalf. He's absolutely gorgeous and kind and smart and... Her dad held his hands up. Okay, I give. He's smart and I'm a wimpy fool. Happy now? Emma smiled. You'll get used to him. You'll see. Just let me know if you'd like to ride him. I'd be happy to show you. Oh, thanks, but no thanks, Frank shuddered. I'll be perfectly happy admiring this wonder from a distance. He glanced at his wristwatch. I guess it's time to try and get some food together for us. Should we say dinner in an hour? Sounds good. I'm as hungry as 10 horses at least. Well then, I'll just throw a handful of oats on your plate. Maybe you can get the hay yourself. Funny. Emma turned to Troy. Come on, she said, let's get your saddle off, and then you can stay in the pasture and eat for a while. Would you like that? Troy looked at her with his dark, velvety eyes. What a gentle horse he was, and so beautiful. What if he could be hers someday? That would be so fantastic. But it wasn't very likely. Emma sighed and started opening the cinch. She'd better enjoy her time with Troy instead of giving in to hopeless dreams. But still, what if?